So why did you want to do an AI robot that particularly helped kids and was an accompaniment for kids instead of just like an industrial robot or a humanoid robot?
I'll admit there's a bit of personal motivation. Whenever I want to give my child a gift, I never feel satisfied with what's available. I wanted to create something that would truly move children.
So I want to ask you, what of your personal experiences with your kid affected the design of Yonbo?
It really comes from what I'd call educational regrets. For example, between my son and me, it's hard to avoid what psychology calls positional bias. Children can never communicate with you as equals. This creates the first regret. Could there be a translator to bridge our communication gap? The first case of this gap happened when my son was in kindergarten. He said the school needed white sports shoes. I bought him shoes that were mostly white but had some gray stripes. In my mind, I had completed the task perfectly. But because my son didn't have specifically pure white shoes, he was placed in the back row during group activities. This was an information gap that prevented me from understanding my child's precise needs. It's very difficult to expect a 5.5 or 6-year-old to articulate clearly that only pure white shoes would work. Otherwise, it would affect their school activities. But Yonbo can identify key information points from fragmented conversations and notify my phone, reminding me of these details even when I'm busy with work. My son was actually the first user. When Yonbo was just a small speaker learning to speak, he was already trying to have conversations with it. We experimented with many interesting features like incorporating his mother's voice and pre-recording his favorite cartoon characters. We jokingly say he evolved from a user to Yonbo's true product manager. For example, he once asked me, "Dad, Yonbo is supposed to be my friend, so why can't I understand his instructions? Why do you need to teach me? I feel like Yonbo is your friend, not mine." This led to Yonbo developing comic-style instruction manuals. We spent a long time on these manuals, first explaining where he came from and why he's so smart, then explaining how he knows what cartoons my son likes to watch. All of this was laid out in the manual. This came from my son acting as a product manager and generating these requirements.